Let's get it. Heart throb never. Men, it's time to look out for ourselves and ourselves only. Man, I swear I was not gonna get into this type of content, but it just keep getting worse. The stuff that I'm seeing. First, let me say this as well. Once again, this is not a new concept. You've had plenty of content creators talk about this thing, but I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. And it may not be anything necessarily different from what you heard, but you haven't heard it from me. So, basically today's society, they don't even recognize the types of sacrifices that men make. Just all the stuff that men do in day-to-day life. That if men didn't do it, it probably more than likely wouldn't get done. We live in a society where men are constantly being told they're inferior to women, that women are smarter than them, that anything men can do, women can do, and that there's basically no use for a man in today's world. It's crazy to me. They just basically want to use us for war, and use us to protect bad behaving, unethical, immoral, and illogical people. They want us to protect those people who are just off the chains behavior-wise. And when these people offend or harm someone with some sense, then they want us to protect the people who caused the harm or the offense. You see what I'm saying? Rather than them just acting like they got some damn sense in the first place. So, men, they're not appreciated at their jobs. Society don't appreciate them. Most of the times, or a lot of times, the family don't appreciate them. The women definitely don't appreciate them. And the communities don't appreciate them because they primarily led by women. So like you take jobs, like you have men who will go to work every day. I can't count how many men that I've known growing up who went to work every day, never missed, a day unless they were sick or damn near dying. And the jobs just don't appreciate these dudes. If they lived long enough and were healthy enough to retire from the job, they got the nerve to give them maybe a little bit of money and a pen or some cheap ass watch. Society don't appreciate men. The same men who built all these bridges and dams and buildings and all the stuff that they built years ago, they didn't appreciate it. Just used them to get what they needed out of them to further the agenda. And most of the men who built that shit, we don't even know who they are. Same thing with technology. It took all these men, who developed the core technologies for computer science and everything. It wasn't women doing this, although there were some women who contributed some great contributions to computer science and stuff. But primarily it was men. And that's basically to get the mainframe stuff in place, set up the foundation for computer science. And now that it's at automation and AI, women basically think that they run stuff because they have the computer science that can do the stuff for them. Not like the way that men had to put in the work to get to this point. Just think about that. Families don't appreciate the men. These men go and work themselves to death for families that don't appreciate them. For families a lot of times they're taken care of, and some of the children or all of the children may not even be theirs. The women can push children out, have these men raising these children look at them with straight faces and tell them that these kids are theirs, knowing that they're not their children. So, people think they can tell men anything, and that, men will just accept it. All the lying and deception that women and the society that advocate women's behavior, all the lying and deception that is employed against men. But what they don't understand is that most of the time men don't say anything about the lying and deception that women in society do to them. They don't say anything because they trying to keep down major conflict if men decided to behave and do the same things that they do to us. So basically what I'm saying is men don't say things a lot of times about what they see women in society doing, because men ain't really about all that talking and trying to negotiate. At the core level, men are warriors, and society is seeming to forget that. We live in a society, we live in a civilized society that was put in place by men, but people are forgetting that men, while we are intellectual and compassionate and loving and hardworking, it comes a point where all the talk has to stop. And then it's like, okay, the only thing you respect is force, so let's go on and get to it. Like, I don't know why the world is trying to push that type of thing. You know, people talk to men crazy. The children, the women, these jobs, everybody. And they talk to men crazy because most of the time, you know, we're not going to force them to shut up or respect us. You know, you get cops called and all that type of stuff. But you have children who are behaving the way they're behaving because the government and the country and society has put everything in place to shut men down. But then they have to, the very gender that they shutting down, they have to use those same men to establish the order. You see, it's a weird conundrum. You know, and men don't, today, they don't have any loyalty from anybody. Men will be living with women, you know, and not knowing the true sides of these women at all. Now how these women reputation destruction on men, the disloyalty, revealing interpersonal problems that are in their household with people that don't have any business being involved in that type of stuff, all to paint a picture of the man so that she can garner support and favor from people looking at the situation. And you don't have to listen to me talking about it. There are hundreds of thousands of men with the same type of story. And since you have so many men saying this, like, it can't be false. You know, I'll shout out, you know, some of the men who've had some real great content in regards to it. Angry Man is one. Black Ram 313. Oheen Amara and the Crypto Gang podcast. Dr. Tiasan Johnson. The Better Bachelor dude, his podcast. Man, the list just goes on and on. It goes on and on. And this is white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. This is not just, you know, a one ethnic group phenomenon. But there's no loyalty from anybody on these jobs. We have to compete at the highest level for everything. Shit that ain't even really worth it. These jobs ain't worth it. They're not really worth your health and mental, you know, health and peace and all of that. Because they don't give a damn about you. Get sick and miss too many days of work. They'll be telling you got to come back to work or you're going to lose your job. You know, we go on and on about this topic with so many different dimensions of it. There ain't no loyalty from nobody. Not from these women, not from these jobs, and unfortunately a lot of time from men, not even from your own children. People that you would lay down in front of a train for to save their life. You would gladly give your life for them until you started seeing that they don't give a damn about you. The government and this country is not for men. Now you look at the laws, the child support laws, family court, marriage and divorce laws, the military draft, work labor expectations compared to women, unfair hiring practice, false allegations and sex harassment claims. There is nothing in this country that is set up to protect the rights of men. Everything in this country is really set up to utterly control you and damn near by proxy enslave you. And when you speak up about it and say things about it, you're looked at as not wanting to, you know, take accountability or be responsible to the level that you're supposed to be responsible at. It's all reverse psychology and shaming tactic. It's tiresome. And you have these women who are just out of control completely. And once again, it's jacked up that anytime men are stating something that's pure fact, we always have to say, not all women. We're not saying all women. The fact that that has to be said illustrates how one-sided and biased this modern phenomenon is. And so since nobody respects who we are and what we do, we need to look out for ourselves, period. No more spending resources on things and people who really don't respect, like, love, or appreciate us. Like, y'all seen the studies where it talk about most women don't even like the men that they're involved with, or don't like men, period. They don't find men attractive. Oh, we ain't got no problem with it. What we saying is don't act one way to fool men into getting in a relationship with you, and you know that you're the complete opposite of what you're portraying to him. Quit using the deception. If you were 304, be a 304. But don't try to hide it. Stop coming expecting, white picket fence lifestyle when you've been living Magic City lifestyle. We ain't asking y'all for nothing. Just do everything that you need on your own. No, men don't need to be trying to have no children in this country or with this government. Don't give your life force to these sperm banks and women asking for in vitro fertilization. Just look out and provide for yourself only. Men, that's what we need to do. Because it's out of control, man. It's out of control. And I gotta say it. We have the former president, Donald Trump. Some maniac tried to assassinate this man. Donald Trump is being fair and has members of a female security guard with him that day. And we all know, more likely than not, if it had been just all men on his security force, that situation may have turned out a little bit, a little bit differently than the way it did. You have to take my word for it. You saw the video. Unreal. No respect for men. But let that have been a female politician getting shot at, or someone trying to assassinate them, or whatever. Let it have been a former female president. They'd shut the country down. They'd have shut down the country, yo. Oh no, this is the worst tragedy ever. Anyway, I'm out. Heart throb never.